Hey everyone, welcome to the second day of notes, law of cosines. So let's start off by looking at this triangle ABC over here that we have and determining, can we use the law of sines to solve for the missing side? So if I were to do this, I could say sine of 52 over A, so sine of 52 degrees over little a, equals, so that's this set, and then I could say sine of B over 4. That's this angle in its opposite side. Well, hopefully you realize right off the bat that there's an issue here. We are missing two different values. We're missing side A and we're missing side B. So I cannot solve that equation as it stands. So what if I went a different route? Instead of B, I did sine of 52 over A, because remember I want to solve for the side. So sine of 52 degrees over A equals, and now let's do angle C and side C. So I'd have sine of angle C over side C is 7. And again, I hope you realize we once again have two unknowns. So little a and angle C. So I can't do a system here because I have A is in common for both of them, sure. But they have two different variables here. They have angle B and angle C. So that's impossible to solve for. Even if I plugged in A, it's going to be in terms of one of the other variables, and then I'd still have two unknowns. So therefore, this problem cannot be solved using the law of sines. And again, a quick way to kind of tell, I don't have at any point an angle and its opposite side. I don't have it there, I don't have it here for angle B, and I don't have it here for angle A and side A. None of those have a matching pair that I know the value of. So if you don't have angle side angle, or side angle in a non-right triangle, you are going to have to use the law of cosines. And the law of cosines you use if you have side angle side or side side. So if you look back to my original triangle, what I did have, and let me just switch colors here, I had side 4, the angle 52 degrees, and I had the side of 7. So that's a side angle side relationship. Both of these, side angle side and side side, will generate one unique triangle. There's no ambiguous case where you might have no triangles, one triangle or two triangles. You absolutely are going to always have one unique triangle. So here's the formula for the law of cosines. If you have a triangle ABC, standard notation, the variables or the vertices are capital letters, the sides across from them are the same letter but lowercase, such as here, then here is the law of cosines. Side C squared. So if you took this side squared, it's going to equal A squared plus B squared minus 2 times, again, A times B times the cosine of C. So notice if you're talking about little side C squared, you're going to take the cosine of angle C. In the next one with B, if the side is B here, you're going to take the cosine of B. And then last one, if it's A squared, cosine of A. I know that this formula looks terrifying, it looks scary. A lot of times kids are like, well, I'm done. I'm not going to be able to solve that. There's no way, no chance, no how. Trust me when I tell you it's going to become easy. You're going to get used to the pattern, right? So anytime, whatever side it is, you're going to take the cosine of the angle, and then the other two just fall in place. You do have to remember that's going to be minus 2 times, and then here if you have A and B is going to be there. If you have A and C, you're going to have 2 times A and C. If it's B squared plus C squared, you're going to have 2 times B times C. Let's go ahead and try to put this into practice. I don't get hung up so much about the letters at all. Like I have to remember this letter and this letter, because you're not always going to have A, B, and C. We like to be creative and have triangle PHS or triangle GEO or triangle DOG. So that's not, the letters aren't the least of your concern. So what I have here is a side angle side situation. So I'm going to use law of cosines. I don't know this side, so it's A squared equals, and then it's going to be the other two sides squared, so 4 squared plus 7 squared minus 2, and now I put those two sides, so if I had a 4 here, I'm going to put a 4 here. If I had 7 here, I'm going to put the 7 here. Okay, that's always the case. And then cosine of if I have side A, I'm going to put the angle that corresponds to it, that's across from it. So it's going to be angle A, in this case, 52 degrees. So now I can work through this. I'm going to get A squared equals 16 plus 49 minus 2 times 4 times 7. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Cosine of 52. I'm going to type this all in on my calculator. I get A squared equals 30.52295 dot 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 dot. It goes on forever. How do I get A by itself? I square root both sides. I'm going to get A equals, or is approximately equal to 5.52. Now, what's nice is if you have a graphing calculator, which you should, it's a requirement for this class, this step, you can just literally type in this entire right side of the equation, left to right, exactly how you see it here, and it'll get you right here. You don't have to worry about squaring and subtracting and multiplying, all that. Just type it in. Left to right, 4 squared plus 7 squared minus 2, parentheses 4, parentheses 7, cosine 52. Press enter, square root that answer, and you get A. 2. Okay, so that first example was one where we're looking for a side. Here is a side, side, side situation where we're given the 3 sides of the triangle. These are admittedly a little bit more difficult, especially for solving the triangle. We are solving it, but when you're looking for an angle, it's always more difficult because you can't just type in that whole right side of the equation like I said earlier. Another thing to point out and that you have to remember is that you always want to solve for the largest angle first. Well, the question becomes, if I don't know any of the angles in this triangle, I don't know D, I don't know O, I don't know G, how am I supposed to know which one's the biggest one? Well, hopefully you remember that we've discussed, I believe we've discussed before, that the largest angle is always across from the longest side. And if the largest angle is across from the longest side, the smallest angle is going to be across from the smallest side. The medium length angle is going to be across from the medium length side. And if you think about a right triangle, that should make sense, right? The 90-degree angle is always the biggest one. It's going to be across from the longest side, aka the hypotenuse. So here, we're always going to solve for the largest angle first. So the largest angle is O. It has to be because it's across from the longest side, 19.7. All right, so this problem right here is a prime example of why trying to memorize those equations from the first page with A squared or B squared or C squared, this kind of becomes pointless here because we don't have A, B, C. That's not our triangle. Our triangle is DOG. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, because we're looking for angle O, we're going to focus on, we want that to be in our equation, right? So we're going to do 19.7, the side across from O squared. It's going to equal 12.1, second side of the triangle squared, plus 8.8, the third side of the triangle squared, minus 2 times. Now at this point, my eyes are looking back to over here. What number was here? I'm going to place it in there as well. So it's going to be 12.1 times. Now my eyes are looking here. What number was in the second number here? 8.8. I'm going to write 8.8. So I try to just remember the pattern versus trying to remember the formula. And then cosine of, well, if I did 19.7, I have to put the angle that's across from 19.7. It's going to be angle O. So admittedly, I will tell you that throughout the years, what I've noticed is that most kids mess up solving this. Setting up the equation is usually not the problem. The problem is solving it. So I'm going to go ahead, square these numbers, multiply them together, write down the next step. 19.7 squared is 388.09. It is going to equal 12.1 squared, which is 146.41, minus 8.8 squared is 77.44, minus, now on my calculator, I'm going to do 2 times 12.1 times 8.8. I get 212.96 times the cosine of O. This is where order of operations becomes really important, and you have to be very, very careful. On the right side of this equation, I can only combine those right now. I cannot combine those two constants, 146.41 plus 77.44. I will not subtract 212.96 attached to them because it has that cosine of O attached to it. So I'm only going to add the first two. Okay, when I add those two, I get 223.85 minus 212.96 cosine of O. If you need to pause the video and write that down, please do. So now my entire goal is to get angle O by itself, which means I have to get cosine of O by itself. How am I going to do that? I'm first going to subtract 223.85 from both sides of the equation. Use my calculator, and I will get, using my calculator, I subtract them, and it is 164.24 equals, now what's left on the right side of this equation is negative 212.96 cosine of angle O. All right. Hopefully you remember from just the trig, if I want to get cosine O by itself, I have to divide away negative 212.96 from both sides. So I have at this point cosine of O, let me just change my color here. Okay, cosine of O, I'm going to bring it onto the left side, equals 164.24 divided by negative 212.96. To solve for an angle, I have to use inverses, so O is going to equal the inverse cosine of 164.24 over negative 212.96. Now you may be asking yourself, why didn't I type that into my calculator? Because I would have to then I would round the decimal, and then I would have to round again at the end, so I don't like to double round. I will show you in class how to store an answer so you don't have to write that down. You could just store it. But my final answer here would be that the measure of angle O is 140.46. All right, so we are solving the triangle. So that means I still have to find the other two angles. I only found angle O so far. So I still have to find angle D, and I have to find the measure of angle G. If you're thinking, oh gosh, we have to do that 2 more times, the answer is thankfully no. When you are missing the 3 angles of a triangle, the most times you have to use the law of cosines is once. You only have to do it 1 time, because now that we know what angle O is, if I put that into my triangle, maybe it will become a little clearer. It's 140.46, and hopefully you notice it's still circled. I have this angle and its opposite side. If you have an angle and its opposite side, you could use the law of sines. So I'm going to do sine of 140.46 over 19.7. And now they want me to find them from largest to smallest angle. The second longest or biggest angle is going to be G because it's across from 12.1. So that's going to be sine of G over 12.1. I cross multiply. I'm going to get 19.7 sine of G equals 12.1 sine of 140.46. Divide both sides by 19.7. And now G is going to equal, the 19.7's cancel. This 12.1 times the sine of 140 over 0.46 over 19.7, I inverse sine. So make sure you know how to type this in on your calculators. Do it as you are watching this video. Pause it. Make sure when you type this in, and this should actually be just here, 19.7. Type this into your calculators yourselves and let me know if you get the correct answer. I'm going to get that the measure of angle G is 23.01 degrees. And now to get the last angle, measure of angle D, all I have to do is to take the 3 angles, or to take away from 180, right? If I know O is 140.46, G is 23.01, add those two, take away from 180, you should get that the angle is 16.53 degrees. All right, so that is it for these. I would just say maybe add this note right here, because this is where most kids make their mistake. Do not subtract. That is bad order of operations. It's kind of like thinking they're not like terms. You should not subtract those two numbers. That is the #1 incorrect thing that kids do. They do it very often, so please don't let that be you. All right, thank you so much for watching. That's it for law of cosines. We'll practice these a lot. We'll intermix them so you get practice on both. Trust me, if this formula scares you, if you're gonna actually do your homework and try to do it honestly, usually the formula is not the problem. The problem will be right here, is bad order of operations. All right, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.